Hey everyone, this is Carson, also known online as Imberwick, and I am the creator of the tabletop role-playing game Tales from Myriad. Today we're going to be going over a quick video about how I make monsters for Tales from Myriad. Okay, so the first thing that you can see here is I've got the manuscript up. The reason I'm using the manuscript is because it is representative of the current edition and edits that are going into the book that are not quite in the demo. Only a few things are separate. The text that is highlighted in green has been added in post the demo going live. And below that you can see a small little stat block that I use to fill out monster stats. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll read the basic little things here. Is to use damage reduction and dodge sparingly, focus on a fast and exciting burst of life from less important monsters. You just want the fight to be fun. So the second thing that we're going to be going over is the core idea here about designing monsters for Myriad, which is that they are not really numbers based. There is not a level of numerical balance and whatnot that goes into them so much as there is just making sure that they're fun to both run for the DM and to play for players. So let's go ahead and get into this. So I don't know what kind of monster I'm going to make. I didn't plan this. So you can see here. Yeah. Undead, plant, construct, monstrous, beast, abomination, demon. For the purpose of this, let's say it's a plant. So you can see here what plant has going on. Abilities might add status effects. They're often vulnerable to fire, and they have poor insight. So in our thing here, type plant. Level, I'll go ahead and make this thing a level 1. Not that big of a deal. We can scale it up and whatnot later. So looking at the numbers here, like I said, the numbers are less important, but we'll go ahead and punch these in. Let's say that it is a medium-sized magic plant. So that'll give us a +1 finesse, +1 insight, -3 power, -1 to the finesse, +2 charm. Let's go ahead and do that. Power, -3, finesse, 0, charm, +2. Where's that insight? Insight +1. Because it is magic, it'll get a +2 to the magic stat anyways, so we'll be getting a +3 in there total. Charm, it's a plant, it doesn't need to be charming. Actually, no, let's make it charming. Why not? Why not? All of these can be 0. For simplicity's sake, when it comes to magic stuff, I just make it 0 unless it's specifically meant to be a spellcaster or a part of its kit is about resisting magical effects. So for the purpose of this, don't worry about it. Okay. So those are the basic numbers, but let's talk about the actual monster here. Scrolling up, you can see designing monsters for the GM's fun. It goes over a couple of game mechanic concepts that fun monsters like to run and use. So we've got trigger, currency, timer, and randomized effect. The trigger is something that occurs when a trigger happens within the creature's vicinity. The currency is a thing that the monster will use to spend on abilities. The timer, at the end of a round or the monster's turn, something happened. It should not be damaged because that's annoying, but doing something to give it a tactical advantage. And a randomized effect for when you really just didn't have anything planned, and you don't want to think about running the monster too bad. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's go with currency. We'll make something with currency. So in order for it to get currency, it needs something to get currency. Something needs to happen that it happens, succinctly put. So let's just say, we'll call it verdant growth. Verdant growth. Whenever this creature deals a critical hit, it gains 1 stack of verdant growth. Now we need something for it to spend it on. Saplings. I don't know. I have yet to decide what this creature is. Let's say that this creature is some sort of dryad. Name. Dryad. I like to make them puns. It often gives good ideas to make them puns. Dryad. Cryad. There you go. Cryad. Saplings. I like to imagine that it cries them out. Saplings. As a bonus action. Cryad may weep, spending 1 stack of verdant growth to summon 1d6 saplings from its tears. They have 1 hit point and a dodge of 5 because they're really easy to hit. Dodge of 5, -3 power, and deal 1 point of damage that does not explode. Great, so that's one ability for it to spend on. That's an example of currency. How able this thing is to actually do anything, we don't know yet. We need to continue making it. All right, so verdant growth, saplings. Another thing. Rejuvenating tears, because this thing cries. That's not how you spell rejuvenating. Rejuvenating tears. As an action, the Cryad may spend 1 stack of verdant growth to heal all allies on natural terrain that it can see. 2d6 hit points because it sucks. I'm actually going to make this one more expensive. 2 stacks. Great. Let's go ahead and give this thing a slashing ability. Slash natural 1d4. Done. It doesn't have to be complex. It's a light slash attack. This is a spellcaster. Okay. And now we'll give it an actual spell. What is it? There it is, Melancholy Chord. Let's go ahead and give this the divine spell Melancholy Chord. Perfect. Put the CD in there, which is just a 3-up. That's not bad. There you go. It's going over to the next page. You get the point. So we've got all the abilities here for it, for the Cryad. This is an example of a currency. As for hit points, let me see. It's not going to have a lot of hit points. It's also not going to have a lot of dodge, but it is a tree, so it's going to have lots of natural armor. So I'm going to give it a DR3, just to give it a little bit of staying power here. HP 7, probably wouldn't have 7 HP. But hey, it's a tree, what can I say? Due to the amount of abilities this thing would have, I would say that this is probably a level 3. And because it's a level 3, I can give it +2 in any stat, so I'm going to give it this. So it's just going to wind up with 1 power. With 9 HP. And as for the loot, there is a simplified loot table. So you can see here, which is found inside of the book, the general loot table. Level 3. This is just a nice little guide. Oftentimes when I don't have a monster prepared or their loot, I just let them roll on this. Not that bad, but it can be anything. So first thing, trash. We'll just say like old bark, 1 crown piece, and so on. It would just continue. It would continue like that. Somewhere in here, it would probably have a component item, Cryad, Tears, which is a component. Copper pieces. Pretty much like that. You could fill that out like that. Forest and Ruins, that's perfectly fine. And down here, you would just put the little lore notes for it. What their whole shtick is. Maybe it's like a Weeping Willow. Actually, that's probably a better name than Cryad. In here. Also known as the Weeping Willow. The Cryad is often seen crying over the stumps of trees that have been cut down. Why not? And alright, there you go. Basic little example of how I make monsters. It's really not all that complex. Good currencies and all that are just a matter of sometimes trial and error, crits, successful attacks, enemies attacking it when it hits half of its hit points. It can be anything like that. And what they can spend it on. Really, the point here is to make it fun. It's not about the damage. The Cryad here does not do a lot of damage. They just can summon a bunch of little crap saplings that run at things, and that's kind of funny to see when it starts happening, because remember, the point of making these monsters is not about the numbers. It is very much about how much fun it is for you as the game master to run and how much fun it is for the players to go up against it. Because I could sit here and give it all these attacks and then they go, oh my goodness, our hit points, or they just wind up killing it in the first place and it never really gets to do anything. But you know, set the Cryad up with a couple of different enemies, and then it gets 1 crit in there because it's rolling on a d4, so there's a good chance that'll happen. And then it starts to cry, and then it summons a bunch of saplings, and then everybody goes, oh my goodness, this thing's annoying. And also kind of funny because they only have 1 hit point. So I hope that helped. I know that this was a pretty hack job demonstration. I just wanted to get this video out since some people were having some issues with making monsters. Just make them fun. Just make them fun to run for you. That's really the main thing here in Myriad. And if you see it get absolutely whomped in 1 hit, then, you know, you can either quietly change its hit points behind the scenes, or just learn that for the next time they go up against something and, you know, take note of how much damage your players are doing. All right. Thanks for watching this video. You can still check out the Kickstarter. There is a Discord that I have that'll be in the link below that we have. You can ask questions and you can kind of see the community art as well, and possibly schedule a game if that's what you're looking for. And with that, thank you all. See ya.